Hi guys, it's Melissa. Welcome back to Practically Creative. I'm glad you're here today, and I'm hoping to get to show you the first block of the month for 2025. It is, I cannot believe it's 2025 already. We are going to start out with our block of the month kit that we created a few days ago together, and I'm going to walk you through how I'm going to do this first block. So let me switch the camera over to the table so that you can see what I'm doing, and let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is I've got all of my stuff here that I think I'm going to need, including that shape cut ruler that we talked about the other day. I'm going to move that out of my way for now because I don't know if I'm going to have to cut any major amounts of fabric. And we're going to open up our block of the month kit. We know we don't need the sashings or corners right now, and I'm going to work on January today. Obviously I haven't gotten to my tape dispenser yet, but that's okay, we'll get there. And we're going to pull out one of these fabric pieces. I want to make sure I just get one. Then we're going to close up our little kit, and it's going to go back here to the far side of the table. Now, I know that I want to do a koala bear on this block, and it will fit. And then I also want to do an outline of Australia here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to decide on colors. And our koala I've already drawn onto some stabilizer paper. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, not bad. I drew out all the pieces because I want to be able to do this separately. And I kept my picture intact. As always, I will have a link down below to where I got this koala bear picture. This was from mondaymandala.com. And we are going to work out of this box this year for our pieces. And this is just an old tin that I've had forever and ever. I have all of my pieces cut out from my stabilizer, and I have all of my pieces cut out from my fabric, at least in general. And what I'm going to do is now I'm going to take my stabilizer, or my pattern pieces, because that's what they are now, and I'm going to attach them to the fabric, and I'm going to cut out my pieces. So you can be as precise as you like, put as many pins as you like in here. I just wanted to show you doing it on one piece, and then I'll cut out everything else off camera. Nobody's got time to sit here and watch me cut out 20 pieces. But you will notice, maybe, that whenever I cut out my stabilizer for my pattern pieces, I left myself some room around it so that I could cut right on the line and be sure that I had everything all in one spot. And this might be easier, probably in fact would be easier, if I had reversed everything and put it onto heat and bond, because then I could just iron the fabric to the heat and bond. But not everybody has heat and bond available. And here it is, my fabric pinned to the pattern piece. And I'm just going to set that one aside. The other thing I did while I was off camera is for like this ear pattern piece. I know that attaches to this gray back here. So I went ahead and traced and cut a pattern piece specifically for the inside of the ear so that I didn't have to cut this pattern piece up to create that one. Alright, I'll be back in a couple of minutes once I have everything cut out, and then I'll show you how we're going to put this all down. We are out here with our little koala bear. Hopefully you guys can all see that. I have put a pin in the middle, and there's my mark. I know you can't see that, but I can. And here is my fabric, or my drawing. I'm going to set it up here so I can see it. And remember, I've got the koala bear off a little bit because I want to be able to put another embroidery over here beside it. And I'm going to go ahead and take the pattern off, and his face should be right there. And we're going to lay our pieces down. And then I'm going to glue down the small pieces. But I'm going to go ahead, as I lay down each piece, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on it just to make it stay in place. And that's kind of heavy, but that's okay. It won't hurt anything. And I want to do his head first, and then I want to do the body. And I'm just pulling my pins out. Let me drop them into my little pin holder because I know I'm going to knock them off there. That's his little body. Give him a little dot of glue underneath. That's a batik. I wasn't sure if which side I wanted up. I wasn't sure which side I wanted up or down. Okay, so that's the two big pieces of that, which is the head and the body. And then we're going to go up here, and I'm going to start finding his ears. There he is, all put together. Now let me iron that glue dry. And remember, when we do this, we just want to set the iron down. We don't want to move it this way. We just want to set it down so that it will dry all our glue. And this glue will hold this on here temporarily until we are ready to go ahead and sew this down. If you're worried about the toxicity of the glue, it will wash out. It's just regular school glue. And you can see I didn't put lots on there. I just put enough to hold the centers down. And now we're going to go over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to applique this down by hand. The other part that I'm going to do on here is going to be embroidery, but I'm going to do some free motion sewing on this. And what I need in order to do that is a piece of stabilizer to go on the back. So I'm just going to cut myself a piece that's big enough. And this is the same stabilizer that I will use in my embroidery machine whenever I embroider something on here. So this is going to serve a dual purpose. It's going to stabilize it long enough for us Alright, and now I've cut a piece of stabilizer as big as my piece of fabric, and I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew it. But before I do that, I am going to put a couple of pins back in here. I would love to use clips here, but I don't think the clips are going to hold far enough in. I'd have to scrunch it up, and I don't want to do that. So we're just going to put 4 pins in here to hold this on, and then we're going to go do our quick embroidery around the koala bear. I will bring you back once I've got that set up and ready to go. Okay, so this is our little koala all sewn down. Our block is completely sewn. I'm going to create my pieces that go around it and go ahead and sew them to it. One less thing to have to do when it's all done. So I'm just doing a 1/4 inch seam. To join the green sashing to the gray. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the piece of green sashing that goes down this side. I'm going to line it up with the edge of my block. And I'm going to sew it on. I'm just going to finger press the green sashing away from the block, and I'm going to finger press the gray block over here. And then I'm going to nest these 2 seams. I think I may have a gray block that's the wrong side. So let's try that again. Y'all want to sing Mom's Seam Ripper song with me? Seam Ripper, you're my best friend. I just used scissors to do that. I had some extra blocks that were 2.5 inches by 2, and I should not have put them in the bag, and apparently I did. So let's fix that. So much for trying to save a second, right? Alright, and now we're going to finger press the seam of the gray towards the green, so that when we lay this on here, we can nest this and everything will line up perfectly. There we go. Alright, and now we've finger pressed it. We've got our sashing and our corner around our block, and it's ready to go back in our quilt kit until it comes time to put together the row or the quilt, depending on which one we're going to do.